back. Now we're going way up. Hello, ladies. Hello, ladies. Hello, ladies. Hello, ladies. How are y'all doing today? For those of you guys who don't recognize me, my name is Jessie Lynn. I'm from A to Z Realty. We have Ashley, Nikki, Nicole in the building today. Got the whole crew here. I'm so glad to see you guys, ladies. My eyelash is like touching my chin right now, so y'all gotta excuse me. I'm struggling a little bit. But anyway, how y'all doing today?
Doing good. Fantastic.
Good. Y'all doing good? Y'all enjoying this beautiful weather? Y'all getting rain? We had rain earlier. What's going on over there?
It's raining here.
It's raining.
Last night we had a storm. Bad.
Y'all had a bad storm?
Woke me up out of my sleep.
Ooh.
Oh wow. Yeah, you are you and lightning and all that good stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you are. All right, y'all. All right, so y'all seem like y'all don't want to talk to me. All right, y'all. So I think everybody want to talk about this down payment we have going on today. We have Natalie Holloway in the building. We about to bring her in. Nicole Crawford. Introduce her for us, you guys. Introduce us.
Today we have the pleasure
Nicole
of.
Just froze up. Introduce Natalie for me.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Today we have Natalie Holloway from New American Funding. She is her name is the Fairy Grandmother. So I've definitely had the pleasure of doing a couple of deals with Natalie, and she is phenomenal. So I wanted to have her in the clubhouse.
Y'all. Nicole just froze. Okay.
Is it?
Can you guys hear me? Yeah, I can see. I think it's you, Jessie.
Is me freezing up?
Yes, you.
It's you.
Oh, wow. I got to yell through the house and get these kids off the internet. Cameron, go tell the kids to get off the internet. All right, y'all. I'm at home. I'm sorry. All right. Let me bring Natalie in, y'all. Let me bring Natalie in.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Natalie. Welcome to the clubhouse.
Hey, y'all. Thank you guys for having me. I am good, Jessie. How are you?
I'm good. We're so excited to have you here. We have a few viewers there in the building. They want to talk to you about a lot of stuff. So before we get started, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, my name is Natalie Holloway. I am dubbed as the Fairy Grandmother. You'll see that title on my Instagram and Facebook page. And I am a local lender here in North Carolina and also licensed in Georgia if you have some people on here that are looking to purchase in those areas as well.
Awesome. So you said you are known as the what now?
Fairy Grandmother.
The Fairy Grandmother. How did you get that name?
Well, I used to work for North Carolina Housing, so I'm familiar with the grant programs. But that was before COVID came and shut everything down. So we were doing a lot of grants then. But yeah, that's why I kind of just stuck to that name because I was familiar with the program and the facility.
Awesome. Well, it appears that my internet is acting up over here on my side today, so I'm not going to ask you a lot of questions. I'm going to have the ladies ask you the questions. But could you please talk to us about a few grants that you have right now, and then I'll pass everything over to them.
Well, we still have the down payment assistance through North Carolina Housing. Of course, I just want to be upfront and let everybody know you can get the program, but I like to let people know that you have to stay in the property for 15 years. Right. So they'll help you with down payment. They'll help you with closing costs. But the moment you decide to sell that property or move out that property or try to rent it, you have to pay that money back. They have very tight guidelines where you have to have a 43% back-end ratio. And what that means is we look at your debts versus your income, as well as acquiring a new property. So we want to make sure that the borrower is comfortable with making those payments and they're not going to be house poor. So a lot of times people want to get this, but then we break it down and say, hey, you got student loans, so we have to factor that in as well. You won't be able to get it because you're outside of those ratios.
Okay. All right, Ashley, I'm going to pass it on over to you, and y'all just going to ask y'all questions.
Okay. So what are your the requirements to be eligible for your program?
You have to have a minimum credit score of 640.
Okay.
That's a hard stop. And as well, you have to have that 43%. And in some of the programs, you have to be a first-time home buyer. And then one of the programs, which is the Home Advantage, You don't have to be, but majority of them you actually have to. And we would actually review your file for which one that you will qualify for once we're doing the preliminary screening.
Okay.
I don't know where I'm angled. I feel like I'm looking in the wrong direction, but
You're fine. We can see you.
okay, good. Because I feel like I'm over here and y'all like, whatever the wrong spot. So yeah, but one thing I wanted to talk about really quickly is the importance of credit. You know, in our community, credit is truly a struggle. Before we can talk about any down payment programs, before we can talk about anything, we need to understand how important credit is when you're trying to buy a home. You know, credit takes a while to get tore up, and it's going to take just that much time to get it repaired. So when you speak to someone like myself, we pull your credit, we see it's like a 570. And then I'm saying, listen, you need to do X, Y, and Z before we're able to, you know, approve you. You can't pay it all that same day and say, hey, I'm ready to go. You still have to let that process take its course. It could take you maybe 2 or 3 months, but the key is you don't want to rush that because you want to make your first time experience something that you'll enjoy and remember. So it's very important to understand. I'm just going to throw some things out. Student loans is very important. If you're thinking about buying a house and you know you have a lot of student loans, start working on trying to get an income-driven repayment plan. And what that does is it looks at your income that you currently have and sets you up on a payment plan. And most times that payment's zero. And that's totally different from a deferment. So that payment plan is going to be something that we can use and qualify. But keep in mind, that's only for a conventional loan. The government loans, like the USDA loans and the FHA, we have to use 1% of that no matter what. So that's some things I like to always educate my clients with, so they'll start working on that. And it's always good to start getting your credit done early. If you know your lease is up in July, don't start doing it in June. You know, you want to give yourself some time. If you know you have some things that could potentially be challenges, to allow your lender to work with you. You're a credit repair person. So when it's time to put that offer in, there's no additional surprises.
Absolutely. That's a good one.
That's great information. Since you spoke about student loans, I had a couple questions this week, actually, about the IDR program and deferments. So you're actually going off the IDR. If they're on that program already, is that what you're going off of? Yeah,
but keep in mind that's only for conventional loans. That program is a strong. If you have a high credit score, but you have a lot of income student loans, then that program will be perfect for you. But if you don't have the strong score and you're like a 640, 670, you're going to be FHA all day because it'll give you the better interest rate. Because as you know, conventional loans are very conservative. So that will help someone that has a really high score, but you're burdened with the back end of the student loan debt.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, so the IDR would help them with that.
Okay. Sorry, Nicole, I skipped you.
No, you're fine. You're fine, because I was going to see if you had something anyway. I did want to, I think I'm probably skipping over, but Natalie, what would you say is the biggest difference between you and another loan officer? So if I had a client that was looking and they didn't want to have their credit pulled from multiple people, what would you say is the one thing that you feel like makes you stand out from other lenders, loan officers?
Well, one thing that makes me stand out, I have an underwriter background. So I'm going to look at that file the way an underwriter would. I'm going to tell you what you need to do up front, make sure I collect all my documents up front. And something else I'm incorporating, I feel like in this market, lenders need to have a little bit more skin in the game. So I'm even willing to, after I get your client pre-approved, I'll speak to the listing agent and let them know, hey, I've already, critiqued this person. I've already reviewed it and everything is verified. So if that will help you to make your selection a little easier, here's the story behind this person and they're good to go. Right. And that'll kind of alleviate some of that stress that's on the seller when you're getting so many different offers. So I feel like those things separate me from other lenders.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Did anybody else have anything?
And I like working with people too. So, I like to see our people get to that finish line, because you know how it is when you get the closing table, blood, sweat, and tears. When you sign on the paper, everybody's friends. So that's
right.
You got that right. You got that
yes.
Right. Besides the down payment assistance program, is there anything else that you guys have that may be in-house? I said, besides the down payment assistance program, is there anything else you guys have in-house that may be able to help a buyer?
We have the Chenoa loan. It gives you 3.5% down with FHA loans. But keep in mind, all those programs like that are customer specific, and they're all very, very strict. So we'd have to look. There's no cookie cutter. Like I said, that 43% hard stop. You know what I mean? And then like these items are forgivable, but you have to stay in the property for X amount of years. So those are the basic ones that we have.
Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know.
Do you have any advice for people that are self-employed?
File your taxes. Don't pencil whip yourself. Actually do your taxes correct. Because a lot of times we get them, okay, well, I didn't put all this in here. Well, guess what? You're cutting yourself out of income. You know what I mean? And I know nobody wants to do that, but when you're trying to avoid taxes, sometimes we do it, but you don't realize next year, you know what? I think I want to buy a house. Well, then you only made $10,000 on paper. It doesn't matter how much money it shows in the bank account, but we have to go what's on those tax returns.
And what do you recommend? What's the time limit to, if you're fixing your credit and you're, a few points shy, like you said, don't apply in June when, don't give yourself a month time. What do you recommend?
If you know you have credit challenges, I would start at least, depending on how, everybody knows where their credit is, in some range. I would say about 2 months would give us a solid roadmap to kind of get you started. Especially if you have to acquire a new credit card, a secured card. It's going to take 30 days for that to cycle through anyway. So that's 1 month. And then you want to have another month just to make sure there's nothing else that we could possibly do before we actually look at it again.
Okay, so
I would say 2 months.
Each time you make a change, you have to wait a month for it to reflect on the credit report.
Not necessarily, unless you're working on opening up a new card. But in some cases, if I just say, Nikki, if I want to give you a roadmap and I say I need you to pay off X, Y, and Z, right? You don't have to technically wait the 30 days. You just have to show me proof that this account has been paid. And then what I then do is submit it up to the repositories, the 3 credit unions, so they can do what's called a credit rescore. So that typically can be done within 3 to 5 business days.
Okay.
Once you waited at, the initial 30, if you had to do a card. But every scenario is different. Everybody's credit looks different. So the roadmap may be different for each person.
And you did work with your clients on their path.
I do. Now, I let them know up front, I'm not a credit counselor, right? So it's only so much that I can potentially do. But I do have some people that I can refer them out to if they have a little bit more work that needs to be done so they can have a deeper dive with their credit.
And I have one more question. So a lot of clients that I work with, they have quite a few medical bills on their credit report. Do you suggest them paying them in full, or?
It all depends on the DTI and how that particular, because if it's like $2,000 or less, in most cases, we don't even look at it. But if that's something and you're right on the cusp of being where you need to be credit-wise and paying that bill will help, then I would encourage them to do so. So it all is contingent on what the score looks like overall.
Okay. But what if their credit is great, but that pops up during the process?
If it doesn't affect the DTI, and once I run it through the automated underwriting system and it doesn't give me any issues, don't worry about it.
Gotcha.
And that's why I say everyone's, everything could be different based. Yeah. But if it doesn't affect anything, when I put it there, I wouldn't even waste it because you can use that money to go toward close-in or something else.
Perfect.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. I don't know where Jessie Lynn is. I don't know.
You pop saying it pops out. We're gonna pray for that Wi-Fi now.
I'm here. Yeah, I'm freezing.
Yeah.
Y'all take it out. I'm freezing. Y'all figure it out.
So, Miss Natalie, if people want
Yes,
to
ma'am.
reach you, how can they reach you?
Well, you can call me directly on my cell, 919-637-3367, or you can email me at natalie.holloway@NAF, and that's NAFINC.com. Those are 2 ways you can reach out to me, or call Nicole.
Yeah.
I will make
Call
sure
one
you
of
get in
us.
touch with her.
Yeah.
We will make sure you get in touch with her.
Yeah.
Well, we are
Yes.
so thankful that you stopped by with us today, and I will definitely say she is that fairy grandmother. She has definitely helped us out in a lot of situations, so I appreciate you for that. And I guess, Miss Ashley, I'm gonna let you take us out.
All right. Well, my name is Ashley Howard. You can definitely find me here at the Homebuyers Clubhouse, and I'm with Realty One Group Liberty. You can contact me at 917-579-7829. Nikki, you're next.
Everyone, again, my name is Nicole Wright. You can reach me here at the Home Buyers Clubhouse. You can reach me at The Right Realtor on Facebook. That's it. Do I ever give my number? I never give my number.
We'll give it to him today.
No, a 704 number, but it's 215-500-8758.
And I'm Nicole Crawford with Keller Williams Realty out of Greensboro. Look, I live in Greensboro. I'm with Curtisville. Today is Friday, y'all. You can reach me on my cell 336-457-3007 or always at the clubhouse. You guys have a great weekend.
Yes, everybody have a great weekend. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye, y'all.
That's pretty awesome.
Mm-mm.
Oh, yeah, sort of.
Mm-mm.
Oh.